Well, hello, my darlings. Glad to see you back. Today, I have made myself a planning book to take away with me on holiday and to go forward with just other artistic endeavors that I want to get up to. So, it is just a book of plain writing paper, slightly taller than a letter size or A4, but with a nice big flap to accommodate girth as the book grows, and a closure. So it's just writing pages layered up for me to take away and potter away evil plans, I suppose. So I have lost my mojo completely, and my muse has gone wandering. So it was just about getting on, getting stuck in, doing something. So I hope you stick around and enjoy. So for you, I'll be back in a tick. Right, hello, my darlings. Back with a bit of a one-off, I think. I think it's going to be the plan. So I've got some jungle paper envelopes here. These are the quite recognizable. That's the BP2 size, whatever that means. I've got 3. I've just sort of pulled the tags off. I've glued the flap. Well, on the other 2, I've glued that flap down. I need to do that one. I'm going to be going on holiday soon this summer, and I want to take 2 scrappy junk journals with me. One with just writing paper in it, and one for just as an art book with some mixed junk journal papers in it. So I'm still collecting papers for the junk journaling one. So hop that out of the way a minute. For the plain writing one, I've again delabeled it. I've glued that flap down, and I've gone through the old sort of stash of papers that I've got that are roughly A3. And those are all different types, and they are going to go in as a plain writing signature. So, I need to cover this with fabric, pop these out of the way, that can be put into a signature. The idea is to take this 3rd envelope and slice it in half to make myself like a wraparound closure, so to speak, on one side. So I'm going to go ahead and slice this roughly in half. I'm not going to be, well, I've already folded it. It's hard to get these spot on, but a bone folder helps, which is there. So now I've just completely lost my muse and my mojo lately. I started on Edith Holden, and I'm just like frozen in place with it. I don't know what to do next. So I thought, you know what? Just make something. Just crack on and make something. Doesn't matter. Even if it's just for the process of creating. And see where it leads. And if it leads to a disaster, so be it. So let's open that flap and get it glued down. Just for, because I will be sewing. I think I want to sew some fabric onto these. Hope you all out there are doing well. So no, excited to go on holiday. I've lots to do before that, but excited. No, that needs more glue as well. Well, a bit of glue, because this is all going to be covered, and these jungle paper envelopes are very strong. So that is my cover. That needs to get sealed up on, yes, glue stick, just go for it. Again, you've got those flaps there, so I've got to get a bit of glue on there, and a bit of glue on that one, And then some glue underneath for good measure. There we go. Glue that one down. And how am I going to attach this before I start covering it with fabric? So, do I sew the whole thing together and then cover the whole thing with fabric, inside and out? I want that to be covered with fabric, and the inside possibly, because you eventually want that to kind of roll if the book builds up. But I don't want to go down the route of doing like fussy score lines and things like that. I just want it to be a flexible bag. So I think I will just sew it on and we will cover it. So not on camera, I know I'm slightly bigger paper here on my cutting mat, because when I crop, so I can see all the way up there when I'm filming, but when I crop it, when I'm editing, it does bring it down shorter. Yeah, let's just go for it. See what happens. It's only a simple writing book to take on holiday for me to scribble in. There we go. Let's draw a line there. I haven't got myself like turned around back to front. No. Front, that way up. Inside front. Back. Inside, yeah. Front, inside, back inside, back. Front, flap. So glue that there. And I'm just going to use glue stick because I'm going to reinforce that by running it through my sewing machine with a running stitch before I put the fabric on. So line that up and stick it down. There we go. I love that. I don't know if any of you out there watched Natasha over at Treasure Books. She had an episode a while back with her husband. They glue it down. So I was in tears laughing listening to that. There we go. So, glued. So I can reinforce that with a running stitch through my sewing machine. And I need to go and move all of the fabric that I've just pulled out so that I can see my sewing machine. So, right, so all I've done is put 2 running stitches through my sewing machine to reinforce that flap. Because as many of you, if you've worked with these envelopes before, they are very, very strong. So, I've ummed and awed a bit. I want fabric on the outside. Do I want paper on the inside? Do I want a different fabric? And this and that, this and that. And, you know, I thought I've lost my muse at the moment, so let's just go for something. So what have I hoarded from my treasure hunting? And I came across this. And this is a very long, very pretty table runner from one of my treasure hunting hauls. I don't think I paid maybe £1 for it. Maybe less. I can't remember. But that's folded exactly in half. I hope I'm still on camera after I do the editing. If I line that up one more time to get it, let's pin it actually, clip it. So I know I'm bang on half. I got another clip? One more. All my clips are in a pot over by my sewing machine. So that's spot on. If I may have to go and get the iron. I may have to iron this first. We'll see. So that is more or less the width of my cutting mat. And if I get my paper out, I am right in the middle. So, I'm thinking I get that front cover edge right on that fold, and that will play out nicely if I can get it through the machine without it going too wonky. So that would be the back, the front cover, and then the inside would be that. I think I'm going to go for it. I just got to think logistically now how to do it. And I do believe I want to give this a bit of an iron before I stick it down. I don't know if you can see, but it's very crumply from where it's been balled up in a box. So yeah, I'm going to go give this a quick press with my little craft iron. So, back in a tick. Right, let's go for it. I've tried my best to get that iron down flat and get that center crease. It is a bit wonky. It's not perfect because it's vintage. So that's my inside. So I need to get glue stick all over the back of that and make sure I flip it on the inside to go that way. So here I go with glue stick, and I'll speed this bit up. Right, moment of truth. I need to get this out of the way. Remember to flip it. I've popped some those brass coffee clips there. Flip this around and try to get it up against that crease. Not quite. Oh, this is a weird angle, isn't it? Oh, here we go. Let's try again. Move it over a bit. I can see the crease that I've ironed in there. And just go for it. It's only glue stick at the end of it. Oh, that's wonky. That's really wonky. Oh, come on. Ah, man. Try again. There we go. I need to stand up for this, I think. My clips are right on the crease. Bring them in a bit to that marking. I need to stand up to do this so I can see. Close enough. Down it goes. And I'll flip it over now and give it a smooth on the other side. And I pushed the camera up a bit, so I hope I'm in camera. I didn't think that through when I chose the size, did I? Yes. Happy. I've got an edge going all the way around. Go back and do some sewing. It'll still be nice and flexible. And it's all fuzzies. So that then should marry up to that edge. which it doesn't. It does, but the whole thing has come out of square over the years because it's old. But if I do the gluing on this side, start there and sort of push it that way, I should be okay. So, let's give it a go. So, again, for the glue, I will speed this bit up and hope I'm still on camera. So, here we go. And let's give it a go, slowly. Sort of getting that front edge, and I want that to stay straight, because this has got a little bit of a wonky, it's like the rectangle that was the table runner has come out of round over the years, perhaps with washing and things. So even with the ironing, the edges don't want to marry up super straight. And I am pushing down a fair bit here. That's okay. If there's wonky bits, I can work with that. Now, there we go. Now, I don't want to fold this again. I want to give that glue stick, I'm alright with that edge there. I want to give that glue stick a bit of time, about 5 minutes or so, sort of do its thing. But my jungle envelope is completely encased now inside. Flip that back around so you don't lose the plot. I know this is the inside. So I'm going to give this 5-10 minutes maybe for the glue stick to do its thing, and then I'll pop back on. Right, so that glue stick has had a chance to go. Now, my center spine should come in there. So that glue stick has held the fabric down. So for my spine, I want my bone folder. There we go. I want that to have a really hard crease. So it's got a memory of where it is for my spine to get stitched in. Give it one on the other side as well. You see what I mean? It's a little bit wonky, but the table runner was that wonky, even after ironing. So, there we go. So my spine has had a nice crease in it. So, to the sewing machine, and watch your space. Right, and all through the sewing machine, and I didn't actually go into the envelope. I've just gone around the edge of that table runner with a sort of dog tooth type stitch. I've gone all the way around the 3 sides. Of course, that's the folded side is my front cover edge. So no, quite pleased with that. And I've gone and taken those writing pages and I've staggered them so that they're going to be more or less the height of the journal. I do hope I'm in camera. And I'm just going to go and stitch these in with a 5-hole stitch into that center spine. And then once that's done, try to think about some sort of closure for this. And so that's where I'm at. So give me a tick. Right, darlings, all stitched in, 5-hole pamphlet stitch. All of my writing papers, I've sort of staggered them, going top, bottom, middle. So I've got more or less a letter size, but taller, because the pages are all overlapping. So I've got graph paper in there, white paper in there, lined paper in there, and top tip, I had watched a video from Beyond Brass here on YouTube. I'll try to remember to put a link to her channel below. When you go to do your binding, I've been using standard sewing needles, and what she recommended was using darning needles. So I ordered me some off the Jungle site. They're not expensive, and the tips are really, really dull. So you're less likely to split your thread. And wow, what a difference. What a difference these made to this process. So thank you, my darling, over at Beyond Brass. Thank you very much. So that's ready to go. I've still got that flap to accommodate, and it's still flexible because it's just the envelope inside. So I need some sort of closure. So I've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole. I've been in my button tin for ages, looking for buttons, but never mind. So I've gotten a couple of trims out. I like that green for that, and that cream to match that. So I've taken, put those out of the way. I've taken enough, I've put that cream on one side and the green on the other, and just run a stitch all the way down to make it nice and thick. I don't know what I'm going to do with the wobbly end yet. Digging through my drawer of hardware, I've got that loop, a bit of offcut of leather, and I've decided on at least one button. So I want to find the middle, feed that leather through, and put some sort of eyelet through, the button through the eyelet, because it's a shank button, and that along there to wrap at least 3 times around the book. So, here's the puzzle part. How do I do it? So, I want that quite tight up against that piece of hardware, and I think that's going to need gluing. So the middle here is, let's open it out actually. So I'm just working on the flap. There we go. I hope I'm in camera and not too cut off once I edit. So this is, say, roughly 15 inches. So my center is 7.5. I want that loop to be on the outside if I can, and I want that button showing there. I don't want my eyelet to go through this stitching. Bring it down maybe a little bit more. There. 7.5. And if the eyelet goes in there, I button there. So let's glue this leather first. So I'm going to trim that off. And I want to glue that in half around my buckle first. I'm not sounding very sure, but this is why I'm pottering away, because my muse has gone wandering elsewhere. So I'm going to keep a bit of pressure on that and get some glue. Come on, art. Save the day, please. And right. Match match those ends up. And give it a squish. Oh, and art's going everywhere. I need a wipe. And pin in the glue. And a wipe like this. There we go. And it's oozing out everywhere. There we go. Because I don't want that to shimmy on the buckle. Yes, I want that to be right tight up to that buckle. And I do find this type of hardware in all sorts of de-stashes, crafty stashes mostly, and some in charity shops. I've got a box full of random bits of hardware. I don't know if that art is going to bond with the metal, but we'll see. So on that flap, now do I want to attach this before I let that in? That's a question. Leave the wonky end till the end. So I need that over there before that goes on. So do I sew that through the sewing machine? I don't think it'll go through my sewing machine doubled over. So how can I attach that piece? I could put another eyelet through there. Yeah, let's try that. But I need to like clip it into place. If possible. Sorry, I'm not very thought out and planned here because, like I said, I've just got no inspiration at the moment at all. Can I get my crocodile in there? Let's give it a go. Where's it gone? There it is. Just do it. I can always... No chance. It's too thick. Right. Glue. Just glue it. Move this out of the way. Glue and clamp, I think. Glue and clamp. So glue, glue, glue. Come on, Art. Pin in the glue. And wipe ready. Let's glue it. And oh, it's not oozing out, so it's definitely soaking into the fabric, which is a good thing. And clamp it. Stronger clamp. No, not that big. Stronger clamps here. Sewing clamps in the end. So, my darlings, I'm going to leave that for a few minutes for Art to do his thing. So, on the cover, 7.5 center. Would place that at about there. So that's not going anywhere. And to, where's my hole going? About there. Push that shank button down. Will it make a indentation in the leather? Yes. So that is going there. Go through. Punch. All the way through. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's going now. There we go. I got a pilot hole now. This is want to come out. So I've got a pilot hole now to put my punch through. And hopefully my brads will go all the way through. Fingers crossed. So let's get a hole. Make sure I got the right size. Is that going to go all the way in? Get that trim. So I've got that hole done. And do I want the brad on the top? Or do I want a hole there for the shank button to go through and the brad underneath? I think, yes, put the brad underneath and the shank button can go through that. The shank button goes through. Sorry, I'm probably very far away. I'll try to zoom in when I'm editing. We'll see. Test my skills. Yeah, because that's my brads are not going to go through all of that leather and all of that. So let's get the brad into there. Come on. Get this out ready. My face. I don't like using the crocodile when I'm using the eyelet ones. I'd rather use a hammer. And sometimes a hammer is much more satisfying. So, let's get this turned around. Get the base onto there. Work it down. Get the eyelet on. That on. And hammer. So, here we go. That job is a good one. There we go. That's in. Get this put away. And crocodile away. So that needs to go through there with the button. Well, that's a nice snug fit. Is this set enough? No, you know what? I'm going to leave that for 10 more minutes or so, and I'll pop back on. Right, darlings, that's dry. And all I've done for that end wonky piece is just turned it over and give it a bit of art. to set. So I'm going to make sure my green side is up and get this button put through. So it fits very snugly into that leather. So I've got to figure out how to get some, I'm going to use wax string, and I'm not entirely sure if this will work, but do I need to add something to the other side? I don't know. If I get that through the button, or do I need to use something thicker than thread? Get that then fed through the hole, and then through that hole. If I pull that taut, get that shank button in there. Let's flip it around now. No. I need something on this side to stop the shank button from falling through. So, again, back to my button tin. Right, darling, I've been through the button tin. Honestly, I could spend hours searching in this tin. I've come up with a couple of possibilities. I quite like that one for the color. That's too chunky. But I want the button on the inside of the flap to be a little less obtrusive. It needs to be small. So I'm going to go with that one, I think. Pop these back in, get this out of the way. To a place where it can not fall on the floor. Very important. And let's get this fed through. So just a little button, but this means that I can change the buttons later on down the line, or the closure if I want. Because the only thing permanent in here is the eyelet. So get that button on that side and give it a knot. And this is waxed thread in gray that I used to bind the book. A little bow. Might trim that off, I don't know. But for now, it can stay like that. And give it a little bit of a trim. So there we go. And let's check this end. So I've just folded the end, trimmed it, and folded it over with some art to firm it up so it's got a proper end to it. So let's see how this closure look. Things out of the way. So here's my book ready to go. That's got a little bit of movement to it as well because it's gone in the eyelet. That's fine. And then this should wrap around at least 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And whether I just tuck it under, it's fine. Because there's lots of room to grow with that flap being there. So I'm quite pleased with that. And the whole point of this is, one, to try to get some inspiration back, because my mojo's gone and my muse has left me for the moment. But it's a planning for future endeavors and possibly a rearrange of my craft room from previous plans. So I've got a notebook where I had previous plans. Actually, it's here. So I had a notebook before with sort of previous, when I first started the room. So I've got like the dimensions of the room in there. I've got dimensions of some of, you know, where the window is, where the door is, and dimensions of existing furniture. So I can sort of sketch and work out what I think might work. So that's going in there along with any sort of ideas that I want to do with my channel and future projects. So this is mine to go away on holiday and play with. So if you stuck this far, you're an absolute angel. So thank you ever so much. And any thoughts, leave me a comment. I hope you've enjoyed. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. It does help. And it helps the mojo a bit, I think, because I know a lot of other crafters out there feel the same way sometimes. When you've just completely lost your mojo and you need some inspiration, sometimes it's just, right, get stuck in, make something. So this something is going away on holiday. I am going to be making a second one more as an art journal with the jungle envelopes. So I hope you check back in with me and see what I get up to. And hopefully my muse will return. So thank you, my darlings. Hope to see you back again soon. Bye for now.